Morning everyone. Oh my word. It's like it's a knockout out there. If any of you have ever seen It's a Knockout, if you remember it. Put in the comments down below if you remember what It's a Knockout was. Anyway, today is Saturday the 19th of February and the UK is being hit by two massive storms at the moment. And we're supposed to be having some snow today. Not that I want it, because today's a busy weekend. Well, this weekend's a busy weekend. First of all, I've got to go and take my van in to be repaired because I crashed it, remember. And then Tom's meeting me at the garage and we're going to do an upgrade with a back boiler. Anyway, let's fight through this traffic, let's get my van to be repaired, and then let's get to this job, and then hopefully we don't get snowed in. So let's get on with it. First thing we need to do is isolate the boiler. So Viren, we need to find the fuse spur, which is here. They are already off. There's two of them for some reason. They're just round here, so we'll get them isolated. So we've got two fuse spurs for some reason. We need to flick the fuse out somehow. That's the first one out. That's the second one out. So the two fuses are dead, that's turned off, but we'll still need to carry out safe isolation on the appliance before we disconnect the electrical supply. But we've got these fuses off. The customer said these are what powers the heating system. So to be safe, we'll need to check safe isolation before we go taking the power out. So now we can get to the boiler and we can start taking this boiler to bits. Now, the last time I installed a boiler was for Manchester City Council in 2005. The last time I serviced a boiler, a back boiler, was 10 years ago. So can I remember how to take these covers off? That's the first thing. So, I can remember this bit. That's the easy bit. This now should slide up, which it does, and the electrical connection is now out. Now, for what I remember is there's a screw here and a screw here. Disconnect the gas and that should come out, but I need to take all this off first. Next time you'll see this boiler will be at the centre. So that's the fuel bed out. What I need to do now is get onto the gas supply here and undo the gas supply going to there. The gas is off and been tested. Oh, we better test the gas first and turn it off. So let's go and get a test done. Now, first thing is get this tricky gas off, which is a pain in the bum. And this takes the gas off to the fire. I used to have a cranked spanner for this. So that's the gas connection disconnected for the fire. I just need to undo this screw here and this fire should slide out, revealing the back. again, I need to disconnect the electrical supply. I can remember how to get to it. There we go. So, that's the fire out, and it exposes the lovely back boiler. So, let's have a look in the builder's opening and see if this was actually installed correctly. I doubt it. So, let's have a look. Ooh, first thing. Flue liner wasn't sealed properly. You can't use silver tape. You have to use flue jointing compound. So that's the first thing. Flue liner looks a bit iffy, but look at that. No third seal or register plate or debris plate put in the top. They've used insulation, and these cheeks should have been bricked up. So it looks like it's a 4-piper. So we've got a cylinder and central heating. So this, what you can see here, is the return pipes with a drain on it. Look at that lovely drain. So the brass fitting we've just been looking at is what Baxi called the injector tee. And it should have been fitted to all the boiler returns, which incorporated a gravity circuit. And what it basically did was give the cylinder the priority back to the back boiler first. It also helped stop circulating the water around the central heating system when the boiler was just in hot water mode only. It did work quite well, but most of the time we had to put anti-gravity valves in to stop the water going around the heating circuit when we were just on hot water only. So this one, you can see where the drain is here. This is going down to feed the heating. And this one is going to feed the cylinder upstairs right above us. And I expected it to be run up inside the chimney opening, and it didn't disappoint, because you can see this runs upstairs. So we were going to use those to feed our, we were going to put some rads upstairs, but we can't use them now. So we're going to have to think of another way of getting it through. And this is our main gas supply here. So I need to get the flue liner off. I need to disconnect the gas supply. I need to get a drain on here and get it all drained, and then remove all this insulation. So let's get this old Baxi Bermuda out. Now I've removed the insulation, we can actually see the pipes for the cylinder, which is upstairs, go through the wall there, and they're actually plastered in here. So they run up the chimney there, but that's not false, that's all bricked in. And can we see up there how it's not sealed at all? It's got the, still got that in because there's just that much soot and dust coming down. But this was not installed correctly because it didn't have the third seal, didn't have chicken wire or a debris plate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys, if you've never serviced one of these Baxis before, I'll show you how to service it and take it apart. Now, because this back boiler is a Type B or an open fluid appliance, we will need to check ventilation. So guys, it's important whether you're servicing or repairing or installing an open fluid appliance. We won't be installing a boiler now, open fluid, but you'll need to check ventilation. You need to make sure it's the correct size and you can see right the way through it and it's not blocked. First thing I need to do is disconnect the gas supply, so all our gas is off and everything like that. So it's just a matter of getting onto that nut and disconnecting it. And this is the three-way gas valve for the back boiler, so you can either just have the back boiler on, or you can have it isolated, or you can have the back boiler and the fire on. So that's that off. Next thing we need to do is, this here is the stat out of the boiler, so it's just a matter of pulling that stat out. Okay, always make sure put it back in, because if you don't, it boils up. Now the thing you can see here is a sniffer tube, and this was put into Baxi back boilers as a safety device. So what happens is, the pilot assembly here actually gets its air for combustion from here, from the hood. This is where the fire goes in as well. So this you can see here is the draft diverter. So if that gets vitiated, what happens is it knocks the pilot off. Now this is one of the later back boilers, so it's probably a 2004, 2005, because it's got automatic ignition in it, whereas the older ones didn't. So it turns out that this Baxi back boiler is a 2004, and the way you find that out is after the 3 letters at the beginning there's 2 numbers, that's the year of manufacture, and the second 2 numbers are the week number of manufacture. So if we look back at our data badge, it's 2004 week 35. So first thing we need to do is we can disconnect these screws here and find the screws down at the bottom. There is also the electric connection, which we just disconnected, and we need to get these screws down, undone, if I can find them. So there's one there, so we can get that one undone. Now when we pull the burner out, the sniffer tube should stay where it is, so but we can actually undo these here and it should all come off together. So there's 4 screws holding the combustion chamber in. So if we take that off first, you'll be able to see the burner and the combustion chamber. So this should slide off. Oh, actually, it's the one with the nut on here, not the one that went in, so you do have to undo that. So there is 2 ways they had this sniffer tube on. One where it's a nut at the bottom, and the other one is it's like a pushing connector. So you have to pull that off to be able to get that off. So we could have took the burner off first, and the sniffer tube will go with it. And you can see it's not in bad condition. I've seen them worse than that. So need to get these 2 screws undone here. So you can see the heat exchanger and you can see the burner. And the full burner comes out. That's how easy these things are to actually service, because you can just undo a few screws and the full thing comes out. So on there you can see this is the nut type where it fastens onto there. I should have just looked over the top, shouldn't I? But anyway, so there you go, that's the full burner out. That allows you now to clean the heat exchanger with your brushes. These are the baffles, so this is the baffle plate, so you can take that out. So this tries to make it efficient. So then you can clean all the heat exchanger, clean all that out, and then just stick it all back. And then we can do our flue flow test and spillage. So we could actually do a flue flow test with this without anything in. And then when we come to do the spillage test, we actually have to do 3 spillage tests on a back boiler. One where it's just the back boiler running its own, one where you've got the fire running on its own, and one where you've got the fire and the back boiler running. And with the fire on the front, you would slide it through here. So that's how you would do the spillage test and flue flow test here in the hood. So as easy as that. So that's how easy these are to strip. So you can see I've taken the flue liner out. It's just held in with 3 screws, one there, and one there. And the dodgy silver tape instead of fire cement or flue jointing compound. So just got to get it drained now and get all this out, and we can remove the full unit. So one of the things we have found is the floor is full of water. So what we've had to go and do is we've had to go and buy a submersible pump to be able to pump it out, because we need to get under this floor and it's pretty deep, this water. So let's see if this fancy pump from Screwfix works. It works! And who picks the day to come out of the centre when it's absolutely chucking it down with snow? I want to go back to the centre. What a stupid day to be doing a boiler upgrade. Oh my word. At least the pump works. So you can see that's our opening there with the back boiler in. And we've lifted these floorboards directly under the back boiler, and this is what we've got. So we're going to have to remove the pump, and the pump, you can see, is pumping on the return back into the boiler. And they've had some alterations done in the past. So we've got to get onto the pipes on the other end of here through that wall, and that's where the wall is flooded on that side where we've got the water pumping out. So once it's all drained, I've got to get that pump out, make that piece up, and then I need to redo all the pipe work in the opening. They are not going to have a fire in here or anything like that. So they want us to leave the pipe work in the opening because it's the easiest way to get upstairs without making any mess of the decorating. So, just got to wait now for it to drain. Let me just try and explain exactly what we're going to be doing here and what's going on. So, I've done a little drawing on the board. Sorry about the crudity of the drawing. It's not to scale. Anyway, this is our back boiler. This is the new boiler we're putting in. This is a gas meter, this is a cylinder, and these are the radiators we're going to be putting upstairs, and these are the radiators on the circuit downstairs. So, first thing we're going to be doing is taking the back boiler out. So when we take the back boiler out, we've got to connect the pipes back up. So, we're going to be removing all of this. And that means the flow pipe's going to be linked in, and the return pipe is going to be linked in. Also, we need to get rid of the cylinder. And that's going to create our upstairs circuit. Now then, the pump. Did anybody notice the pump is on the return? So, let me just show you a pump. Now, if you look closely on a pump, there's a flow arrow, and the arrow's pointing towards me. But the easiest way of saying which way a pump is pumping is the bulge here. The bulge is on the flow because the water comes in, goes underneath the impeller, and then flies out this way. So you can see the bulge is this way, and this is how the pump was installed in the bungalow we're just working in. So it was installed going towards the boiler on the return. And if that actually worked, those radiators, because wouldn't that just go that way? Anyway, those circuits matter, work the backwards, but we're getting rid of that pump. And we'll just be linking them in like that. So that comes to the gas supply. So we're just going to be getting rid of the old gas supply. So that will be disconnected. And we will just then upgrade the gas supply going into the boiler. And this gas meter is literally just on the other side of the wall. It's already 22 all the way up to the boiler. The old boiler, so we're just going to be continuing it, and because it's such a short run and we're only putting a 24 kilowatt boiler in, we should be getting our readings at the boiler when we do our inlet pressures. And then we'll be linking our flow and return to this end, but what we've got to do is upgrade all this pipe work because it's only in 15mm. So we're going to be putting a new plastic main all the way through, right the way down to this end here. to give us the water flow to go upstairs and to feed all the other radiators in this bungalow. So hopefully that gives you an idea of exactly what we're doing on this job. Let's get back to the job then. Well, it turns out that this is the only drain on the central heating system. Waste of time being here, but at least it'll get rid of some of the water. Now you can see I've removed the pump and I've changed the pipework, but I've had to put 2 new plastic mains going all the way through because it was only 15mm. I've just got to get back under here now and put some clips on the pipe after finishing lagging it. So let's have a look in the cylinder cupboard. So you can see the cylinder. What I've had to do is cut the hot outlet off, slide a piece of copper so it goes all the way down to the bottom of the cylinder, and then put the hose on, and I just did a bit of siphonic action and got it flowing. So this is the flow up from the boiler, and this is the return back down to the boiler. So this boiler with gravity hot water pump central heating. If we get up here, you can see the first system is feeding the hot water. This is the vent pipe off the hot water, and the one at the back there, which you would have no chance of getting to whatsoever if anything happened, that's the F&E for the heating. So I need to get all this out first to be able to get at the heating. So what we're going to do is we're going to use these 2 pipes here. We're going to obviously cut them, and then this is going to be our flow up for the heating, because he's got no radiators up on the top of this bungalow. So we're going to be using those as our flow and return for the 2 rads that are going to come up here. Obviously we will be altering it, and you'll see that later. So all this has to come out, but not until this is drained. Well, after a few sucks on the hose pipe, away it goes. But look at this snow! I hope it's not like this when we're going home. Now, after removing the boiler, I need to check safe isolation. So I'm checking between my earth and neutral, my earth and live, and my neutral and live for 0 voltage. So if you could see the wires, you would have found this. So I have an earth wire and then what looks like 3 live wires. But actually it's not. One of those is a neutral. Now, in case somebody turns this on accidentally, what I've gone and done is I've wrapped each individual wire against the main cable using these insulation tape until the electrician can get here to do all the rewiring. So if somebody did turn this back on, none of the live wires will be touching any other wire because they're encased in PVC tape. Hope that makes sense. Now the back boiler is out, you can now see the pipes. So let's say they're the ones that go up to the cylinder. So what I've got to do is I've got to connect that one into that one, and then I've got to take that out and connect that into that. And then these are all going to be lagged and the customer wants them stayed in. So let's get on with that then. Well, that's the pipework altered in this builder's opening. Just need to get some lagging on it and some clips now, and that bit's done. So I should have stayed in the centre. Why have I come on site? I'm wet right the way through to my underpants. My feet are full of water. And Tommy, let's show you Tommy.
No, you don't need to see me.
He is absolutely covered in mud. We've been crawling in about that much water because the pump packed in. Going home now.
On we go.
So we've got the boiler finished and up and running. Tom's just got to come back now and redo the rads, what need to be redone. But because of pumping the water out, it's just wasted hours. Well, at least they've got heating and hot water now. But it wasn't all doom and gloom this weekend. At least I got my van fixed. What an amazing job. Just like to say, thanks a lot, Will Moss. Cheers, mate. Morning. It's Monday morning. Praise the Lord, it's Monday morning. I can go back to the centre and I can talk a good game now instead of rolling around in poop. Anyway, I think I'm becoming a bit of a jinx, don't you? 2 jobs I do this year with Tom. First one, van breaks down and it snows. Second one, under the floor, completely flooded, and we have snow and 2 storms. I think I need to stay in the centre, don't you? And I would just like to say, hats off to any ladies and gentlemen who are out there doing our trade over the age of 50. You are my heroes, because I was not wanting to be doing this every day. And I work out, I do my exercises every day, and I still feel like I've been run over. Anyway, if you've liked this video, why don't you give me a thumbs up or leave a constructive comment down below. So if you are working in our trade over 50, let's get your name down there, let's see who you are. Anyway, if you're not subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe, because it helps if I can get it out. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, because you want YouTube to tell you when I'm uploading videos, because I'm just random at the moment. Anyway, all I've got left to say is thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and if you want to see the other disastrous video with the van breaking down, check it out here. Cheers guys, I'll catch you on the next one.